Is
Mark.
Mark, how you doing? It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has. What's your problem?
You?
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Mark, you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah, it's a bit of a boom for our podcast, Jim. I don't know how you did it, but we have the 2026 Winter Olympic curling champion, Nick Roberts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's so great to meet you,
Yeah.
sir.
Amazing. I can't wait to delve into the whole sport.
Yes, it's. I mean, I can talk as long as you would like to know. It is my passion, curling. No,
Isn't that just a fancy word for shuffleboard?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
No,
so Mark,
pleasure to be here.
Mark, we are talking to author Nick Roberts, who I have been a fan of for quite a while. Um, I had reached out to him on TikTok several moons ago, and then life happened, and I wasn't able to get him on. But I was lucky enough to run into him at AuthorCon in Williamsburg 3 weekends ago now,
Yeah.
and he agreed to actually meet you, which shocked me.
Well,
Well,
apologies, Nick, for having that experience. That's
the agreement was involved a firearm in my face and a time and date. So now
Right.
I'm here.
There you go.
that's Jim's usual MO.
It usually is. That's how we get the guests.
It's effective.
Unfortunately, we're not as regular as we used to be because life happens, and I have an elderly cousin with dementia that I take care of. So some weeks we just can't get our shit together.
I don't know about you, Jim. I'm very regular.
Nobody cares, Mark. Please stop bringing up your bowel movements.
I take fiber every morning. If you'd like me to offer some suggestions, it's lovely.
Oh, fantastic. So Nick, a few of the books you've written, the first book I read by you was The Cursed Among Us, and I absolutely loved it.
Well, you read the wrong one. That's by John Durgan, my doppelganger.
Shit, you're right. I know. Why do I keep doing that to both of you? You really don't look anything alike.
That's everybody. Everybody says that.
Well, what was the first? Hold on. Now I have to look at I have your whole history.
John is never going to not stop giving me shit because of that. So
that's okay. Now I gave him another reason.
Yes, there you go.
I think if I hadn't seen you both at AuthorCon, I would not believe you were not the same person.
No, John wrote he wrote the Newport trilogy. The Cursed Among Us, Consumed by Evil, and Conjuring the Demon. And I wrote the Exorcist House trilogy.
Yes, that I know, because we're going to talk about that. I've only read the first one, but I bought the other two from you I bought the second one from you at AuthorCon, and I have a copy of Mean Spirited, which I haven't had time to pick up yet. So, Exorcist House.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I'm going to be honest. When I first started Exorcist House, the beginning sort of threw me because it felt a little disjointed until you get into the story.
Disjointed in what regard?
Just I didn't understand where it was going, and usually I have a good understanding of where the story is going to go from the beginning of the book, but you have a couple time jumps in there where you go back in time, telling one story, and then come to the present time. So it makes sense once you get used to it, but it threw me a little bit at first.
I like that premise. Stories where you don't know where it's going is.
Well, my question is: are you positive that you're talking about the first The Exorcist House? Because in The Exorcist House Genesis, there is a time jump between the 90s and the 60s throughout the novel.
That is true. I have not read Genesis yet, though. That much I know.
Okay,
and it's not.
I'm just giving you a little bit of shit. But it's with The Exorcist House. I open up with a prologue, which is an old man sitting around a fire on his farm, and he's calming his dog, his bloodhound, who's upset by something, and he's hearing these things in his house behind him. He's hearing glass breaking and laughing, and he's just calm, looking up at the stars and comforting his dog. And he gets up, dusts himself off, and knows that he is going to face his destiny. and he's at peace with that. And so then that's the prologue. And then it opens up with chapter 1. We have a new family moving in the house. Other than that, there's not a lot of time jumps.
Where'd he go?
You annoyed him, Jim.
I did, and I seem to be really fucking up this interview, which is terrible, right? Because I was so excited for having him on. We lost you, Nick.
I don't blame him.
I mean, I don't blame him either. I'm pretty much terrible, apparently.
Well, I've been telling you this for years.
I know. I should listen to you more, but I really don't care.
Well, if you did care, maybe you'd improve.
Fair enough. I used to be much better at interviews, didn't I?
Yeah, you used to have your shit together.
I know. And then life
movies and shit together.
Yeah, right. So, Mark, while we wait for Nick, what's up with you? Oh, there he is.
So sorry.
Where'd he go? Oh, I just turned him off.
Why is there a ghost in the background? What?
I'm so sorry. My stepson called me out of nowhere, and I hit the mute button, and then I don't know why it kicked me off. But
I did no idea. But that's all good. It's all good. We were just talking about what a shit interviewer I am apparently today.
Not today. I mean, in general.
Absolutely, I'm terrible. Anyway,
but, what I was getting at was with the I was writing the movie in my head. So what got me okay with taking on a novel was writing one scene at a time. And I'm a very cinematic person. I grew up reading screenplays, listening to director commentaries. I filmed my own movies. So when I went to write a novel, it scared the crap out of me because it's a lot of words, and I'm very visual. So it was nothing to me to write a chapter from the point of view of whoever was in that scene. It was nothing to me to, even within a scene, have characters talking to one another and then jump from inside one character's head to the other. And that's called head hopping. I didn't know that wasn't a big no-no. So I kind of, I wrote the movie I saw in my head. It came out the way it did, for better or worse. I've had people say that they love the way it's written. And I've had people who've been around say, hey, here are some amateur mistakes that I noticed that you could improve upon. But the one compliment that I always got was, you kept me entertained. I wanted to read the next chapter. Yes. And if I can do that, then that's me celebrating a victory over your smartphone, over your TV, over your video games. If I can get you to read, I mean, I'm competing with all that shit.
Yeah. So what got you into writing in the first place? Because you said you were big into screenplays. So what made you want to write your first novel?
Well, I went through, we'll just say, my dark period of my life from about age 15 to 25. And when I got my stuff together in 2012, I ended up going back to school. I discovered a love for literature. I majored in English, and I got my master's in teaching. And all along, I was teaching English and kind of writing on the side. And I ended up getting my doctorate in leadership studies while I was working as a teacher and writing novels just whenever I could. And the cool thing about being a teacher at the time was that I had summers off. So I could sit down and I'm going to not get up until I have 1,000 words down. And I did that every day. And I would always come out of the summer with a full manuscript. And then, obviously I thought that was the hard part. But, getting it published and people to read it and pay for it, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
That's kind of the Stephen King journey, right? He was an English teacher.
Yeah. And and his process. His book on writing, that was sort of my Bible. I had to unlearn everything I read in the book Screenplay by Sid Field, which is what I like studied my whole life. And I read King's book, his nonfiction book on writing, which is part memoir and part how to do the craft. And I said, well, if he can do this, I'm going to do that. And there were times when, like, even now to this day, like I write full time, but let's say that there's a movie I want to see. Like tonight, I really want to go see a movie, but I do have a PM writing session that I need to knock out. And if I don't get that PM writing session knocked out, I'm not going to go see the movie. So that gives me motivation to knock it out.
See, Mark, we're holding him up from going to do something he enjoys.
Oh no. It's not till later tonight, like 10:30 or something. I have to wait until the family's in bed before I sneak out with my Regal pass to go see a movie.
What movie is it?
I always forget the name. It's the one. It's about sound and different.
Oh, Undertone.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not seen it and have heard very mixed reviews about it.
Well,
So
the less I know, the better. So
yeah. Mark,
Never heard of it.
you've never heard of it?
Undertone? No.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it because I know, Nick, you said you want to go in as uninformed as possible, which is generally the best way I've found to appreciate a movie. But I have a basic understanding of it, and I'm curious, but I'll probably wait for it to come on streaming. Can't remember the last time I went to a theater.
I'll try to get. Well, my wife got me that Regal pass, and it feels like I have the superpower, being able to pick a movie and go in there for free whenever I want to. So
right.
They go to bed early. They all have day jobs in school. As long as I knock out my business, I take advantage of that. I'll go watch the stuff my wife doesn't want to watch with me.
Right. That's fair enough. Mark, you do that with your wife too?
So I have a similar pass, but it's AMC. So,
Nice.
I mean, it pays for itself if you see like 2 movies a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember the last time I was in.
Above it.
I can remember the last time I was in a theater was at AuthorCon because I went and saw Scream 7.
Me too. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm slightly jealous of your AMC. They have they get or at least I see that they have a lot of merch that comes with a lot of their movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you like earn points and stuff and get free shit and whatever. So yeah.
However, I will say,
sponsored by AMC. Thanks, AMC.
However, I will say that Regal actually knocked it out of the park with their popcorn bucket for Scream 7. That was the best one by far.
Yes. I got the last one at the theater.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, John Durgan and I actually went to go see it together. And he grabbed one, didn't even look at me to see if I wanted it. He just snagged it, and luckily there was one left, so I grabbed it.
I think I got the first 2 because I went to the first showing on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I got one for me and I got one for Tim King because him and his daughter go see it. So I was like, I'm like, can you at least just hold them back here and not sell them for me so I can go watch the movie?
Yeah.
Mark?
Jim?
Anything from you? You're awful quiet, which is not like you.
Well, it's your guest, Jim. I didn't want to interrupt. So Nick, as a fellow author myself.
Oh,
right, Jim?
Jesus Christ. He's got one short story that's coming out in a book that I'm publishing.
Hell yeah, man. There you go.
And what's the premise of the story, Jim?
You essentially torture me through witchcraft. It's actually so. You probably don't know this, Nick, but I put together a charity anthology called Bizarre Splatter Patterns, which is essentially splatterpunk and bizarro fiction.
Okay.
And I'm working on volume 2 right now, which is all slasher themed. And Mark tried to be duplicitous with the first volume because there was no theme, and get Timothy King to submit his story as Tim's work. But Tim did not get the opportunity to do that. And then Mark just sent it to me when he heard about the second book. And when I tell you I laughed my ass off, I could not include it, even though it doesn't fit with the theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny.
Well, the thing is, I knew that Jim was going to hate it because, well, I'm very, very self-critical, so I've never written anything before, really, and so I just put it down. I figured if it came from an author that Jim liked, maybe he'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty good."
But Mark, did I hate it?
No, I think
Exactly.
because you're the main protagonist.
No, it was genuinely funny.
So when you
I
read
was-
it, did you think that Tim wrote it when you read it?
No,
Okay.
Mark actually sent it to me. Tim never sent it to me.
Okay.
But I did. I laughed my
Basically,
butt off.
what it is, spoiler for our millions of listeners that are going to be reading my short story. It's basically the setup is I have a voodoo doll of Jim.
Yep.
And I'm using various implements to like torture him over a series of weeks, and he doesn't know what's going on. So
Yeah, and it's absolutely hysterical. The doctors are freaking out because I keep winding up in the emergency room. It's funny. The whole thing is funny.
I love voodoo subgenres. I mean, you can go super creepy, you can go over the top funny. I love voodoo.
Yeah.
I had a voodoo doll that my dad bought me in New Orleans when I mean, this must have been 20 years ago, but yeah, that thing was creepy as shit.
I still have one that my mother got for me when she went to New Orleans. I love it. It's great. But anyway, that being said, we raised $350 for the Point Foundation with the first volume, and the second volume, everything's going to go to Scares That Care.
So my question, Nick, to you is, whenever you come to like write something, and you're like, I've already written a short story, whatever, but I'm very much like a visual, like a move, like how I would think it would play out in the movie theater. Whenever you come up with your ideas, do you think about just like the general concept and it just kind of flows, or do you think about like the start and then the end and how you get from there to there, or do you think about the characters, or does it all like just what's your process?
It's different for each project. I got hired to write a story for an anthology called Views from the Overlook, which comes out next year, and it's about stories set in the world of The Shining by Stephen King, and that was super intimidating, and I had to just get over the fact that it was in this world for these people, that he was probably going to be reading it. And I just had to say, okay, I'm just going to have fun and write my own story that just happens to deal with this world he created. And so I had some parameters there. Normally, when I just go in blind to a short story, I try to think of an ending first. It's a little different than when I write my novels, because with my novels, I just like to open up with a killer prologue like you would with a horror movie. Like you go see something that just pulls you right in, and then make memorable characters right from the start, and then just have the stakes escalate, and one thing leads to another. And I don't even want it to be like, I want to say fast paced, but I just released a book called Lila in the Flesh, which is a gothic mystery that takes place in a castle in Italy, and it is the opposite of a fast-paced book like The Exorcist House, but still in my mind I'm intrigued and I'm pulled into the story. So as long as I'm engaged, I think pacing kind of goes out the window. But yeah, when I write a short story, I have to have some kind of end in mind, or else it's going to read like I wrote 80% of something really good and then just rush the ending when I found it. But with a novel, what I'll do is I'll just start with that opening, figure out who my characters are, what the story's going to be about in the moment. I never outline anything. And then in the second draft, I'll go back and make it look like I knew what I was doing all along. I'll embed things that later will pay off in the story. When I wrote my screenplay that I just submitted, that was completely different experience. I had to I thought I was better than I was, and I wrote the screenplay. I sent it to my manager, who also happens to rep Danny and the Filippo brothers, who I'm a huge fan of. So he's used to reading brilliant screenplays, and I just write my adaptation. I sent it to him, and he said, "Yeah, this needs a lot of work. You've got an awesome opening that lasts most of the movie, and then you've got an ending." So I took that to heart. I went and I printed off the screenplay for Candyman, the one from the '90s,
Mhm.
and I bought some index cards, and I wrote down each individual scene on each index card, and I wrote down which characters were in that scene and why I thought that scene was in the movie. And once I could look at it all on my floor, and I think it was about 75, 80 note cards on my floor, it's weird. I could just see a pattern of what was going on. And I'll tell you what I did for my second draft. I took what I had from my first, and I kind of chopped it and molded it into an exact replica of beat for beat of like Candyman.
Mhm.
So my trick there was to learn how to tell my story in a structured way. And I sent that to him. And he said, "Well, this is night and day different. This is great. I think it can be fantastic because there are a ton of great scripts out there. It takes something that's next level fantastic for a studio exec to look at it and then look back at it and keep reading it." So he said, "If you will trust me and go into it a third time and try to do XYZ, I think we might have a chance of getting this thing greenlit." So I just went in and did that. I sent it to him yesterday, and just waiting for the feedback on that. So yeah, look, I gained so much respect for screenwriters and that craft that I had forgotten how hard it was to do. When I initially agreed to it, I was like, "Sweet, it's just dialogue. Like that's my favorite thing to write is dialogue." No, it's gotta have some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's almost like a different art form, right? Compared to writing a book, and you can have great writers who do screenplays, and they don't work out at all, and you can have people that do screenplays based on other people's writing, and it'll like totally make or break it, right? One thing I always think of, because again, I'm visual in my head, right? The thought of doing a screenplay, because there's so many kind of rules to it, right?
Yeah.
Is like storyboards, right? That like I'd be like, if I could draw, that's the way I would want to put it out in my head, and then let somebody else write the technical screenplay, camera zoom in from here or whatever, but. Good luck for it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So thinking about that, this is probably not going to be a popular opinion, but you often hear that the movie's not as good as the book, right? You hear that more often than not, with the exception of Knock at the Cabin, which was so much better in movie form than it was in book form, in my opinion. So I'll give you, for instance, like Phantoms, right? Dean Koontz did the screenplay for Phantoms. The book is top notch. The movie's dog shit.
Oh, shut your fucking face, Jim. Phantoms is awesome.
It is not
Affleck
awesome.
was the bombs in Phantoms, yo.
I really enjoy the movie. Like,
I hate it. I hate everything about it.
But here's the thing, right? So, I mean, they're different media, right? And
they are. I agree.
It's hard to say, well, the book is, obviously the book you get a lot more of internal thought and things that can flesh out, but it's so different to a movie that it's almost like you can't really compare them.
But you can, because if you change
can,
fundamental, you can,
it's
because
a bit of a false equivalent.
It is not. Because if you fundamentally change the character, age,
I'm not saying that.
Physical handicap, I am though. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
In Phantoms, he changed the system sister completely. We went from a 12-year-old girl to Rose McGowan,
See, I've never read Phantoms, so
right?
I'm just
And
sitting
then
back and enjoying it.
the thing that Liv Schreiber's character does in the book to that 12-year-old girl,
Okay,
absolutely reprehensible.
yeah,
In the
Right, but,
book,
yeah.
he's just a creep.
but you're not going to have that in the movie, right?
You don't have that in the movie.
Right, because it's money, right?
Yeah.
A big studio is not going to be like, we're going to put in like some horrendous, offensive things and release it, because it's an industry. They want to make money.
I don't disagree, but if you're not going to include the reprehensible stuff that his character does, what is the need to change a 12-year-old girl's character to Rose McGowan?
Why do you think
Well,
And you change the main
Ro-
character's last name, which I know is nitpicky, but he changed
I can
the main character's last name, and that annoyed the shit out of me.
I can't speak to the changes, but I can speak to Rose McGowan. She was under contract with Dimension at the time, and she was full on under Harvey Weinstein's control.
Yeah.
And this was right after Scream, so Rose
I
McGowan's in the
100%.
movie.
I think she's a fantastic actress. I just don't think she was the actress they should have used for that part. That's my opinion.
I just
But I'm not a studio exec.
I just judge things how they are now. If there's something in a book that I think is very important, and the movie skips out on that important thing or series of events,
You're gonna make me say it, aren't you?
what?
Please don't make me say it. Please don't make me say it. It already cost me a friendship. I'm not. I don't want to say
I have
it.
no idea what you're talking about.
Talking about Clown in a Cornfield.
Yeah, but and there's obviously going to be a difference between.
Nick's just giggling.
But there's obviously going to be.
I'm a big fan of the books, Nick. 100% love Adam Caesar and everything he writes.
Yeah.
And Last Night at Terrace Lanes, absolutely phenomenal. Had all of his heart, and you could tell it was a passion project for him. But Clown in a Cornfield was not it.
I mean, Adam loves film, and I certainly would have no. I would see no reason why, if anyone disagreed or did not like a film that he wrote, why he would be personally offended by that. He's grown up as a film junkie himself. He knows what resonates with people and what doesn't. So I'm sure I'm not going to speak on his behalf, but I doubt he would have any problem with you speaking your mind whatsoever.
I feel bad because I'm like, I have forced my friends to read Clown in a Cornfield, and we all love it, right? Like I've bought them the audiobook so that they can listen to it. Yeah. I've done everything I can to push it, but everything I was afraid of they were going to do to Clown in a Cornfield, they did. It was too lighthearted, and they took the main heart of the story and reduced it to a scene in the middle of a barn burning down so that it was a throwaway line, and it really pissed me off.
I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about. I understand. And I just I will only say that they were making the movie that they wanted to make, not the book that Adam wrote.
I know. And I totally understand that, which is why I'm still on board for the books. 100%.
That's the thing as well. So, typically the writer doesn't direct the movie, right? So
no, that's true.
You're
and I get
other people's creative thoughts, whether you like them or not. I mean, it's all subjective. So there's multiple hands involved that brings.
And that's why it's not a dig at Adam Caesar. I love his work, but that movie is the problem.
I really didn't like that movie, but I really liked Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
which is
great. That was yeah. I mean, you can only get away with subverting tropes so many times.
Right.
And Tucker and Dale, I mean, that movie's brilliant. But
it is.
I'll say my 2 cents on the whole movie's first books thing. There are very, very few books that are perfect books that get adapted and filmed into perfect films. So I will say The Exorcist, The Silence of the Lambs, Jurassic Park. I will say all of those 3 are perfect movies, and that also came from perfect books. One of
Mhm.
my favorite films of all time, and one that I consider to be a perfect film, is Jaws. Recently, I went back and read. Well, I went and read Jaws. I had never read Peter Benchley's
Oh,
Jaws before,
it's not that good.
and yeah, well, I discovered that, and I saw all of this backstory, all of this. They changed the characters for the good in the film, in
Mhm.
my opinion, and I understood. Oh, okay, you can take a decent book and make a perfect film with the right creative teams. So with like with my own work, I've been approached several times by filmmakers. When my first novel, Anathema, came out, I had connections to a few producers in that were connected with, I'll just say, production companies in Hollywood.
Mhm.
I had a major meeting, and keep in mind, I was working as a teacher. I had no money, no extra disposable income, and I had this major meeting where they wanted to change. Um, Anathema is about addiction, and prior to the novel beginning, this couple that you go through the novel with have had a rocky past, and so
Mhm.
is their child. So, in order to greenlight that movie, they wanted to completely take out the addiction element. They wanted to take out the rocky history and just have a lily white, nice couple encounter this evil. And which to me eliminates the whole thesis of the book, the whole reason I
Mhm.
wrote it. And so it took a lot for me and the producer who was on my team, as a person in recovery himself. We both just looked at each other and we said, no, that's one thing we cannot do,
Mhm.
is cut the heart out of this book.
Right.
But on movies and books in general, there are two schools of thought. Stephen King, of course, at this point in his career, he is financially comfortable.
Mm.
He
Mhm.
can he can perfectly say, my book will always be my book. It doesn't matter how bad the movie is going to be. My book will be the book. The movie will be the movie. So yeah, Stephen King can say that. However, Paul Tremblay, he kind of put an addendum to that. So Paul said, and Paul, of course, wrote Cabin at the End of the World, and then that was turned into Knock at the Cabin.
Mhm.
And Paul's little addendum was, yeah, but millions and millions more people are going to see the movie and associate the story with the movie versus ever picking up my book and reading it. So so he, yes, agreed somewhat with what King said, but he also said, let's not forget that more people are seeing movies, and when you think of Cabin at the End of the World, you might think of, no, I'm not going to read that book. I saw a film that I necessarily didn't like. Or the inverse,
Mhm.
you love the movie,
So you go read
and
the book.
you go read the book and you find out, oh wait, this is different. I don't like this. So
And
personally,
Or
for me, unless I'm writing the screenplay, I want to see what someone else does with my work.
and I kind of
or you're like me with Knock at the Cabin. You read the book, then you go see the movie, and you enjoy the movie much more than you did the book.
and I kind of feel it's like whatever medium that you enjoyed first, when you go back, you're always going to be like comparing it, right? To say, well, the Jaws is a perfect example, like
Yeah,
It
absolute
is.
classic. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm interested in the book, and then you go to the book, and it's like, not so
yeah.
good. And
I
that's
disagree. I love the book.
Oh man.
yeah. And I suppose like the poster child for this argument is The Shining, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
The movie's super loved, the book's super
Yeah.
loved,
Yeah. I love
but
both.
but there's, obviously Stephen King was not a fan of the movie at all.
He's come around to accepting it. He's come around to being able to differentiate and say, yes, they can exist in the same universe. He's not it's not that he hates it like he used to.
I think he's mellowed out over the years.
Yeah,
and he had a lot of vitriol for it, and I think almost you could look at Stephen King movie adaptations.
Yeah,
and over the years, even if you didn't appreciate what Kubrick did, and I'm not a huge fan of the book or the movie. I think they're okay. The amount of terrible movies based on his work, you're probably like, okay.
Well, look at the Gunslinger. They haven't done a single good movie.
I'm excited for what Mike Flanagan's going to do with that world.
I think he could do it well. I'm excited for what Mike Flanagan's going to do with The Exorcist.
I am too, and The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie. It's my favorite horror book, and I am not intimidated. I'm not going to say they ruined that movie for me if they don't do what I consider to be a great film. I'm just happy to be able to live in a day and age where I can go to the theater and see a new version of The Exorcist directed by Mike Flanagan.
I'm interested to see what they do after that first one. Are they like?
I mean, but let's be honest. Dominion wasn't any better.
No, Believer.
Are you talking about Believer or Dominion?
No, both. Believer wasn't great.
No. Dominion. Forget about Dominion. This is the new 3 movies that Blumhouse or whatever is supposed to have done, right? So Believer was the first. Flanagan's doing the second, right?
Which I don't think will have anything to do with Believer.
So that's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
If they try and tie it to it or not. I don't know what direction they're heading, but then you have, is it going to be Believer's a standalone, Flanagan does another standalone, and then does he do, because they have the 3 movie deal or whatever, sequel to that, or do they do another standalone?
I thought what they did with the series was great, where each season was a standalone. I thought that was fantastic.
Ironically, I just rented that. I rented season 1 and 2 from the library. I love going to the library. It makes me feel like I'm at Blockbuster again.
Yeah, right? My favorite job ever, working at Blockbuster.
So
I loved it.
For the younger listeners, a library is a place where you can go and get books and movies for free.
Very true. Very true. But I like I said, I loved what they did with the standalone because I thought the second season was good and took it into a different direction. The first season, obviously they have to tie the story together, and then the second season they take in a different direction.
The only Exorcist film in the whole canon that I did not like was the second one, was Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Oh my God, it was so gloriously terrible. I love it.
Well, see, I saw it when I was very young, and I was expecting a sequel to The Exorcist.
Yeah.
So if I could go, I'm 100% sure I could go back now and watch it and enjoy every aspect of it for what it is. But I was not. I didn't have the film education at the time.
Yeah.
So Jim, what's the real sequel to The Exorcist? Why don't you inform our audience?
Nobody cares about the Ninth Configuration. Nobody.
I do. Nick, have you seen
Ninth Configuration?
For you. I have not. I've heard of it. That's the title.
Don't bother.
No,
I've never watched it.
Shut your mouth, Jim. So it's William Peter Blatty wrote and directed it. It was his first director role. It is tangentially connected to the first Exorcist, but it's not a horror movie. But it is fantastic. You should watch it.
It is not fantastic.
That's his first directorial role?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So he wrote a book called Twinkle, Twinkle, Killer Kane.
Okay.
And he adapted it into the Ninth Configuration. And it's got it's maybe got more DNA with Exorcist 3 as far as kind of like the witty dialogue and the discussions about.
God, I love that movie. I love the book.
Oh yeah. So check out the Ninth Configuration. I think you'll love it.
I will.
Jim, shut your mouth.
Look, I love that people appreciate stuff I don't. I love that. I just think that movie is horseshit.
So why didn't you like it, Jim?
It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Well,
I didn't like the aesthetic. I
as eloquent as ever. I just didn't like it.
I know. I just didn't like it. It was just not my bag.
Anyway, so I think Nick. I think if you're a big Blatty fan, you have to watch it.
I don't know how many autographed copies of Legion and The Exorcist I have in there, but yeah, I love Blatty.
Oh, I have.
So, other than that, Nick, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love The Thing. I love the wave of horror films that came out whenever I was in high school are like going to be ingrained in me forever. Like I have a tattoo right here of Hostel, the dog from Elite Huntings. I love Hostel. I love Saw. I love The Devil's Rejects.
I'm not a Rob Zombie fan. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
You like Fire in the Sky? Look, I got this signed by D.B. Sweeney.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, so.
Way to show off, Mark.
I know. That's what I do. Hey, I spent a lot of money on this shit.
Anyway,
when you get a chance to show off your signed stuff, it's like no better feeling in the world.
Right.
But yeah, like Trick or Treat, that movie has become my new Halloween tradition. It usurps the original Halloween. Like I love Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. So, The Shining is up there. But yeah, as far as like my top one or two that go back and forth, it's just The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw.
That's fair enough. And we're talking the OG Texas Chainsaw, not that abominable remake, right?
Correct.
Okay, good.
I look at
like I don't think anybody says my top two movies are The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. I don't think anybody's ever said those words.
There's been a huge resurgence in people who saw the Platinum Dunes Michael Bay Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like grew up with that, and that's their version.
Yep.
I quite like that for Lee Armory. Lee R. Armory? Whatever his name is. He's from amazing. Full Metal Jacket. He's he's just frightening. He's just a frightening guy.
Yeah, that's fair. Mark, what are your top two besides Martyrs?
I love Martyrs.
Yeah. It is great. That's one movie Mark forced me to watch that, and I'm thankful for that.
Obviously, I'm talking about the remake.
I haven't seen it.
I'm going to throw my beer at the screen right now, Mark.
That's fine. Doesn't hurt me. You'll have to get a new laptop. No, Martyrs is my favorite. But, I mean, there's, like, so many. And I think probably, growing up in the 80s, John Carpenter is my favorite director. If you had to pick one of his, what do you pick?
The Thing.
The Thing. I think the Thing is his masterpiece. Although, like, low-key, I think Prince of Darkness is one of his best movies.
I would agree with that.
I would have gone with The Fog. I don't know what.
Oh, I love The Fog, too.
I just love The Fog.
Funny story. I saw a panel with Adrienne Barbeau, and why can I never remember the guy's name?
Tom Atkins.
Thank you. They were talking about how they had to film all of the scenes for the end of the film in reverse to get the fog to retreat.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It's one of the few movies where studio interference actually helped it.
I agree.
Which
And I love
doesn't happen
that
often. So
it's a lesson in less is more when revealing the bad guys. Like when you find out that it's spoiler alert for the fog, but when you find out that it's a bunch of pissed off people with leprosy who were denied access to this island, you don't need to see an up close shot of their face. The silhouettes, the red eyes, I mean that's just whew, I
yeah.
loved it so much.
Yeah, I agree.
But apart from that, Jaws, Exorcist 3, I think, is the best of the series. I mean,
We asked for two, Mark.
Evil
That's
Dead
enough.
2. Yeah, there's just, I could just rhyme off a million.
You could.
Yeah.
That's fair. So let me ask you this then, Nick. What are some of your favorite horror books?
It changes every day. Right now, I've been like because I just finished writing a first person serial killer novel. I have so much respect. I mean, American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis is has always been one of my favorites. But to see people try to get into the vein of writing a first person serial killer without necessarily adding anything to that subgenre other than what's been repeated, it's given me an appreciation for um, like Jim Thompson's The Killer Inside Me, C.J. Lead, her book May Fly. I love that book so much,
I keep
and
hearing about that. I haven't picked it up yet.
I mean, you were right there at AuthorCon. She was
I
two
know.
tables down from me,
I know.
and
I feel terrible. I had to buy a whole new suitcase for the amount of books I brought home, just so you know.
I almost did that last year. I almost did that, but they
Came home
luckily
with 50 new books.
I had 80 last year.
See?
But
But I was on a plane to Florida, so. But I gladly paid. I have an entire bookcase in my room now full of new books. I'm excited.
and I'm assuming that most of them are signed.
Every single one of them. I actually wound up running into an author I did not expect to see there. Chris Philbrook, I did not know was going to be there. And I love his Adrian's Undead Diary series. It's snarky. It's funny. It's, I don't know if you like post-apocalyptic stuff, but it's essentially this smartass and how he deals with the end of the world. It's so funny. And that's just my kind of humor. I love snark.
That's cool.
I just happened to walk at the end of one of the rows and he was there.
He who walks
right
behind the road.
That movie is not great, but the end, Malachi and Isaac were terrifying.
It's a bit corny.
Touche.
I'm all ears about that movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
My signal's messing up on my phone.
Right. I mean, we're a little bit older than you, and Mark does love his dad jokes.
Hey, I'm always down for a dad joke.
Right. So tell us, Nick, what have you seen recently that you've been really impressed with?
God.
Or just not impressed with. What have you watched?
Or not impressed with. Because as you can tell, we speak freely on this podcast, so you can shit on something if you want.
That's the thing is that like right now I'm trying to get a bunch of movies made by people
okay
who I don't want to ever shit on.
Fair enough.
I'm not at a Quentin Tarantino level where I can just shit on Paul Dano and Matthew Lillard and still make a brilliant masterpiece.
Wait, you're working on movies? Can you expound on that a little? I'm interested.
Yeah. So, Mean-Spirited.
Okay.
It got picked up, and trying to talk without being a dumbass and saying stuff that I'm not supposed to say, but out of all the movies or of all the books that I've written, Mean Spirited was not the one that I thought people would turn into a movie, because if you want the elevator pitch, it's about a haunted dog, and like
Which I
it's
have read, and it's great.
yeah. Thank you. I mean, it is basically this alcoholic teacher who at the beginning he finds out a student from his first year teaching, a student in that class of his first year passed away, and she for whatever reason she stood out. She was like a star student, and he had one of her poems tucked away and up in his filing cabinet. So as a nice gesture, like he sees this in the obituary, he drives by her house because he still lives in that town, and he leaves the poem on her doorstep just in case family or whatever show up. And out of nowhere, this dog comes out of the woods, and the dog has a tag on it. And the dog, uh, it was her dog. So our character Matt, he has an ex-wife who's a veterinarian who he's still in love with, and he has a young son, Mikey, who wants a dog. So this is his perfect end into getting his son a dog and getting a little closer to his ex-wife. So he takes the dog home, quickly finds out that it's very much a hybrid of like Insidious meets It Follows, um, more so than like a Cujo type of movie. So yeah, that's the setup. That's what happens in the first couple of chapters, and then it's just straight up. I wanted it to, for the longest time, the running title was the book that has to be scarier than The Exorcist House and Stolen Tongues, because everyone was saying that those are the two scariest books they've ever read. So that was my bar, and I'm proud of that book. Like
I'll be honest, when I read it, I swear I thought you had something against dogs. Could you put that dog through some stuff?
Well, I worked at a no-kill animal shelter for 3 years when I was in early recovery, and working with animals and seeing the abuse people will put on animals. I mean, it hurt. I mean, it affected me in a deep way.
Yeah.
I mean, I love animals, but yeah, it's
that scene, the scene where he's the dog is at the vet at his wife's vet, and they put the other dog in the cage near him.
Yes,
that was rough.
Yeah,
but it
rough.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, we get it, Mark. But it was intense, but it was so well done. Like, I'm like, do I really not like animals at this point? Because I thought it was great.
Well, thank you.
And of course, Good Boy did rather well recently.
It did.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah. Of course. Once I saw the poster for it, Mean Spirited had been out for 2 years, and I saw the poster, and Mean Spirited is with a very big production company right now, and when I saw the poster for it, I kind of got a little nervous, and then I read what it was about, and I read how it came about, and I was like, oh, well, this is nothing like Mean Spirited. What I was worried more is that I have an author acquaintance, Neil McRobert, who hosts a podcast called Talking Scared, and he just released his debut novel, which is called Good Boy, and the cover is very similar to the poster of Good Boy, even though, again, completely different stories. It's just right now it seems like dogs and horror are having a resurgence because I think they're making a Cujo film for Netflix right now.
Everything's cyclical, right?
Oh, of course. All themes are cyclical.
And once one thing does well, production companies like to look for similar fare, see if they can kind of ride the coattails sometimes.
But
to wrap up your question about the films, it's right now it's the screenplay I just finished was for a short story I wrote called Sally Under the Bed. It that is from my collection. It Haunts the Mind and Other Stories. So I've got that. I've got Mean Spirited, and we're in discussions regarding The Exorcist House and Lila in the Flesh.
Oh, nice.
I
haven't read Lila yet.
So Nick, with these kind of like going out there, do you sit in your head and think about which actors or actresses you would like to see, portray your characters?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how anyone who would be in my position wouldn't like indulge in that fantasy. So yeah, I have cast many of the actors, and then I've heard other people make suggestions that are awesome. Yeah, so it's I'll say this: having all of these books and scripts be out there, and me just right now I'm in a waiting period where these are being read, things are being decided. I'm literally at a moment where any email could be life changing, and it's so cool to be. And I don't take this for granted that I get to do what I love to do for a living, and and until it becomes a chore or something I don't love to do, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Imagine if you got Paul Dano and Matthew Lillard in one of your movies. You get so much free press from Tarantino. It probably.
Yeah.
So, who is your dream cast for Mean Spirited?
Well, when I wrote Mean Spirited, Matt Metheny, he was very much based off of, I don't even know, like so many people have not seen this movie, but if you're a Ryan Gosling fan, you have to go see it. It's what put him on the map as a serious actor. But the film Half Nelson, Ryan Gosling plays a teacher in an inner city school who's struggling with coke and crack addiction, and he's got a good heart. He wants to do better, but like so many people struggling with substance use disorder, he just keeps getting pulled back into it and making terrible decisions. And it's a great film. I can't recommend Half Nelson highly enough. Unfortunately, that came out, I want to say at least 10, 15 years ago, but Ryan Gosling easily could play that part of Matt, and I just always kind of saw him there.
Okay.
It doesn't do a movie much harm if you have Ryan Gosling as your leading actor.
That's true. What about the dog? Who would you cast as the dog?
Well, the dog that played Indy in Good Boy just won an award, so his
That's true.
His price just probably doubled. So
you could say two leading award-winning actors.
There you go.
I mean that publicity and marketing writes itself right there.
Any ideas for Matt's kid?
No, I don't see enough. I mean, I have 2 young kids who watch TV, but I'm not going to cast some loud YouTuber who throws slime at the camera as the kid. But
fair enough.
I don't know. That might be a good marketing thing. Pull in one of these popular YouTube kids.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to catch on, right? Like you might get a very young audience coming out if you have one of those loud YouTubers.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and there we go.
So other than the film, what other projects do you have coming up?
Right now I have I was so happy to finally be able to announce this a couple weeks ago, but I am editing my first ever anthology, and it's called Haunted Minds, Tales of Possession. And I wanted to create the definitive possession anthology. But here's the thing. I did not want it to be 25 stories of exorcisms and Catholic priests and the same old thing over and over.
Right.
Of course, we want to have, we want to have that element to it, but the authors I enlisted, I wanted I wanted people from all walks of life with all different experiences, all different belief systems. I wanted to bring everybody into this and say, your only directive is how you interpret the word possession. You can take that as demonic possession. You can take that as a literal. This AirPod case is my possession. I'm holding it in my hand.
Right.
You can do whatever you want with it. So, yeah, I like once I reached out to Stephen Graham Jones, who is my literary hero, and I asked him if he would write the foreword to this, and he agreed. Once I asked the next person and said that he was attached, it was like a domino effect of every author that I could ever dream of asking saying yes. So my eternal gratitude goes out to that man for helping me. And we just sold the project. The stories are starting to come in. Seeing short stories sent to me for the first time from these authors, and I'm the first one who gets to read it. It's like Christmas morning in my inbox whenever I can get these. So yeah, Haunted Minds. That's what I'm working on, like on the side, because I'll have to work on that like in bursts. But the novel I'm currently writing is kind of an anti-possession, anti-exorcism book, but it's called "Can You Help Me with an Exorcism?" And Athon Books / Wicked House is releasing that. I have to turn it in by the end of June. And its basic premise is it opens up with a guy, an author who went viral by writing an exorcism novel years ago, and now he's trying to maintain some sort of literary status, and he's got this new book out that he's in a bookstore signing for, and he notices this little fidgety kid in line waiting to get his book signed. And as the line dwindles down, the kid gets closer and closer and more uncomfortable and awkward. And the kid hands him a book and asks him if he'll sign it. And he sees that it's the book that the guy wrote that made him famous. And he opens the book to the page the kid had it marked on. And he sees that there's a note there. And he looks up, and the kid's booking it out of the Barnes & Noble, and he runs out. So he sees the note, and later when he's leaving, and it says the kid's name, his address, his phone number, and it says, "Can you help me with an exorcism?" So that's sort of the opening.
Okay.
Where we're going from that, I don't even know yet. So
Nice.
it's
So Nick, you've inspired me.
Yeah.
Now I want to put a story into this. So it's going to be the possessed possession, and it's going to be about AirPods that are possessed, and when people put them in their ears, makes them do evil things.
Dude, that is not a terrible idea, because like I thought, like I've been looking at everything like that recently, because I was like, I forget what book this is. It is a book. Someone wrote it. This author was at an event that I was at recently, but I forget who it is. But it's about this gun. And when someone picks up this gun, there are these rules that they inherently know. And I haven't read this, so if I'm butchering it, I apologize to the author. But they have to kill a certain amount of people with this gun before they can release it from their clutches. I thought of something crazy, like just looking at my shoes. Okay, I bought a new pair of shoes. What if I have to do something in these shoes? So yeah.
And then you could bring in souls, right?
I have never been so outmatched with puns. This is inspiring.
I'm here to help.
Or infuriate. Take your
Yeah,
pick.
yeah. What?
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah, or both. So Nick, we should probably discuss this earlier, but where can people follow you?
I'm mostly on Facebook in this group called the Haunted Minds Book Club. And this, if I've said the phrase "haunted mind" several times during this, it came from my book, The Exorcist House, where one of the rules of is like if you enter this basement of this house, the entity down there infects your mind. It haunts your mind. There is no fleeing the house and running away. Like you are infected. So I should trademark that, by the way. But I ended up writing a collection called "It Haunts the Mind," and then I ended up naming my I don't want to. I didn't. I was very conscious to not have a fan club because there's a cap on any kind of group that's there for just one author. But if you can create a Facebook group or any kind of social media group that's open to the whole genre, which I wanted to do, that's why I chose to name it the Haunted Minds Book Club. And so many authors are in there. I'm always in there promoting my stuff. I promote my stuff there first. And sorry, I'm hearing my voice play back in my AirPods. I don't know if there's a bit of
It's
a
haunted.
delay.
It's possessed.
That's my fault, and I apologize. I was checking the Facebook comments, and it started playing the video.
No, I think they're possessed.
No, they're not. No, they're not, Mark. You're not getting off the ground with that.
Now weird things are happening.
If you just Google Nick Roberts author, you'll see I have a website. It's nickrobertsauthor.com. There are a few signed books on there for sale. I also I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm always my handle is usually Spooky WV, as in West Virginia, because up until 3 years ago I lived in West Virginia. So the company, my LLC, is Spooky WV. So that's just what stuck with me. Spooky WV. But yeah, if you Google Nick Roberts, you'll find me.
So I want to read a few of the comments that we've gotten on Facebook. You ready, Nick?
Okay. Yeah.
So the first one is the guy that I fucked you up with in the beginning. John said, "Screw you, Nick, for sitting outside in a t-shirt when half the country is stuck in snow." Oscar Brady says, "And smoking a cigar at that."
Oscar, he never mind. We can't speak about what happens at that place. But yeah,
that's right. You cannot. We're not allowed to talk about that.
Congrats, Oscar.
Right. Congrats. But I did buy that book, just so you know. But he said Mayfly was fantastic. Yes. He also said that Mean Spirited is another one of his all-time favorite books.
Thank you.
And then Laura would like me to know that her nails are done and refreshed. I tend to give her shit about her nails whenever she goes on TikTok live. I always ask her if her nails are done. I don't know why. I don't even know how it started, to be honest, but it's just a running gag with us now.
I'm glad to hear that.
She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. She is great. But anyway, Mark,
Jim,
you want to talk about what you've watched?
So here's the ups and downs of life, right? So unfortunately, I have to go into the office 3 days a week, which is like 40 minutes or an hour there and back. And but the good thing is I've been able to start listening to audiobooks again. Gives me a chance. Okay. So I think I probably told you about Mythos that I listened to recently from
if you did, I didn't listen to you like normal.
Fry, all about Greek mythology.
And I'm familiar with the book.
Yeah, Greek mythology is way more interesting than like Christian mythology. It's just the authors are so much more interesting. So that was really good. I finished reading Pendergast, the beginning. So love all those books. I think they did a really good job with this one because The character of Pendergast has been going on like really, really crazy adventures, like time travel and stuff. This one kind of brings it back to more kind of like not so crazy out there sort of stuff.
Procedural roots.
Yeah. As I was looking for the next book to read, like Audible suggested The Neon Rain.
Not heard of that.
Which is like hard boils, New Orleans police kind of drama thing. It's just full of kind of the southern, like everybody talks to each other and these sort of southern philosophy, right? Oh, my daddy's gator says they'll bite your legs off if you don't look at them, all that sort of stuff. It was okay. I don't know. I think maybe I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more violent because people were saying, "Oh, it's too violent. It's too violent." I'm like, no, it's not. And so currently, I haven't read Watchers since maybe I was like 15, the Dean Koontz one.
Yeah.
So I'm currently listening to that, and really great narrator for that one. So that's kind of my reading recently. Movies I have not done too well with because I was already hesitant about watching Predator's Badlands.
Yeah,
just because it was PG-13 and it looked like CGI, just all CGI. And like that's not the Predator that kind of I grew up with or I like. And it starts off with like a lightsaber battle, basically. And then I don't like the predators talking to each other like they're human beings. I think that takes away from their otherworldliness. And then I got to a certain point, probably halfway through, where they have this 100% like Star Wars Disney sidekick alien, and I'm like, I turned it off. I'm sorry. I really love Prey, but this is just
Prey was
amazing.
But this it was. Do you ever watch something and maybe because you really like the character or whatever?
Yeah.
Somebody has turned it into something which made a lot of people obviously love. A lot of people say it's their favorite Predator movie. But the more you watch it, the more kind of angry you get at it. I'm like, it can't get worse. And then it's like this big bug-eyed, like Star Wars character, and I can't. I just can't. So I turned that off. So that was my first downfall. My second one was director I love, obviously, so beloved in the horror community. I watched Get Help or Sand Help, sorry.
Yes,
Sam Raimi.
God, I love that.
And this was drab. The characters were like, they started off cartoonish, and then they tried to make them not cartoonish. They tried to do like this misery on an island. The actors are good, but it's the script that let this one down. And they absolutely stole one of the most famous scenes from Hard Candy and put it in this movie. And I'm like, oh my God, they did not just do that. Like Sam Raimi, of all people, I actually thought the direction was pretty flat in it for him. And again, this is another movie people are like going wild over.
I'm one of them.
It did not work for me at all. I didn't find the character. None of the character, and you don't need to have a character that you like, but I found all of them to be just horrible people in their own ways.
I mean, but sometimes that can be cathartic, right? Because you see them go through some shit, and it's like, yes, they deserve that.
There's supposed to be character arcs in this, but they don't make any sense. Like
I just want to have fun with it. That's all I'm looking for. But I haven't watched it.
I didn't have fun. I thought it was overly long. I thought it was majorly boring in parts. I just didn't like it. And oh God, I went into it not knowing anything about it other than seeing the trailer. I'm like, okay, well, what's Raimi got up his sleeve this time, right? And I figured there'd be some sort of craziness or whatever, or even, but no, like even compared, like what's his last one, Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell was a 20 out of 10 compared to this one. I love Drag Me to Hell, but it's got some issues. But this one, I don't know. Maybe it was a weight of expectation because it was Raimi. Maybe if I went into it not knowing it was Raimi directing it, maybe I would have not been so harsh on it. But there is that weight of expectation sometimes whenever you go to see a movie from a director you really like.
So, Nick, I'd love to hear your opinion on this film because I haven't watched it yet, and I'm just looking to have fun with this movie. Yeah. Like, I'm not looking for strong character development. I'm not looking for a great story. I really just want to see Rachel McAdams lose her shit.
So, I am 100% biased because I went into it knowing way too much about it because, first of all, Rachel McAdams is top tier on my actress level. So, knowing that it was Misery meets Castaway, I knew that we were going to get some insane scenes and to see her go all out. I totally get what you're saying, especially when it got to a scene that was almost a ripoff of Hard Candy. And then it wasn't. I was a bit like, okay, did they restrain? Did they pull back? And
no, but sorry, Nick. The same scene happens in Hard Candy. There's no difference.
In Hard Candy, that she doesn't go through with it.
No.
It's been a long time since.
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the huge saving grace, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's one part because I'd say about halfway, 60% through the movie, I thought I knew everything that was going to happen. I thought that I was like, okay, this is the movie. It is what it is. I'm enjoying myself. I love being in a theater seeing a new Sam Raimi movie. And then there's a scene, a reveal that literally was like, oh my God, she is way more fucked up than I even could have dreamt of. And for that last 30% of that movie, I felt like the rug was just pulled out from under me. And it's hard to comment on the big reveal, but I'll just say it worked 100%.
So I think this is where the character doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's kind of like a Misery where they kind of say that she's done something in her past, right? Mm-hmm. That to her husband or whatever, and then she does this thing, and it then she's like feeling bad about it. Like I didn't really get where that character, like, is she already nuts?
It's hard to discuss without.
I know, but that didn't land with me because of her reaction afterwards,
right?
Where she felt bad about it, whereas the movie was trying to lead you, and I think what the movie was ultimately trying to do was to make, is it Dylan Mulvaney?
O'Brien.
Who's an extremely Gordon Gekko caricature. I think what the movie was trying to do is trying to make him so unpleasant that at a certain point in the movie, now we're supposed to be on his side. But I don't know. Nick, again, like Jim says, I love it when people love movies which I don't like. So I think it's great, and obviously a lot of people do love it. But
I have a question then.
And sorry, there's horrible CGI through it too.
So I have a question then for both of you, right? So normally, hold on. Sorry, my dog went nuts. So Dylan O'Brien typically plays the awkward, lovable, quirky kind of hero by accident. I'm really interested to see how he pulls off being an unlikable boss to the level that it appears he's going to be in this film.
it's just, to me, it was just so exaggerated. It didn't feel real. Like,
But how did the actor do? Is my question.
oh no, I thought the acting was all around great in it. I just didn't think the script was there.
What about you, Nick?
I'm opposite. I didn't know. I'm not familiar with that actor.
Okay.
As much as I am Rachel McAdams, I've seen everything. She's been in.
That's fair.
So to see her go head to head with this person who I don't really know, I was like, okay, she's just going to dominate this whole. This is her movie. But at the beginning, I was like, okay, he's typical tech bro, Gordon Gekko for the new age. But there are peaks and valleys, and there's a certain point where he really pulled a fast one on me, and I'll say that actor, I don't know if that was scripted. I mean, I know the reveal was scripted, but the way he sells it seems an impossible task, because it's so obvious. And God, it is so hard to talk about this without giving everything away.
Fair enough. I mean, have you seen the Maze Runner series?
No.
So Nick,
Teen Wolf, the TV show?
No. Wait, I'm sorry. Which show?
Teen Wolf.
No.
Okay, then you have no idea who Dylan O'Brien is. Got it. Understand.
And I had another problem after the hard candy ripoff scene. Like, I'm sorry, but if I was him, I'd wait for her to be asleep and. Sorry.
You got me on that. That was the fact that instrument was the. Like, you could get any instrument to take control of that situation. The fact that was the power struggle was over that. Okay.
A big rock would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so that's it for me, I think.
What about you, Nick? What have you read or seen recently?
Well, it just reminded me. I just saw Send Help. I'm reading C.J. Leeds' advanced copy of Headlights, and on the back of it, it says for fans of I think it's Silence of the Lambs and Longlegs, and phew, if you like those,
I like one of those.
Longlegs, right, Jim?
Okay.
Shut up, Mark.
Have you heard about that one yet?
No, never heard of it. There's a running joke where Mark was trying to push Longlegs on me for like a year, and I refused to watch it.
That sounds weird. It's because you were complaining, Jim, that all you saw was Longlegs ads all over the time.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, have you seen it? No.
It was a running joke for a year, and people still use it on Facebook.
Longlegs was a running joke.
I'm sorry, Nick.
I can't wait to see what Chris Elliott does with Longlegs in the new Scary Movie.
I just watched the first 2 Scary Movies. But we'll talk about that when I go. So anyway, go ahead, Nick. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no. So I'm reading C.J. Leeds' book, Headlights. Loving it so far. It's a departure from what I've read from her. It's more of a police procedural, and with the comp of Longlegs being thrown in there, I can see where this could go in any direction. And I love when an author or any artist can make me not know where something is headed. If you can pull that off, a jaded horror fan like me is truly appreciative. And
absolutely.
Like we discussed earlier, like I went to the library and just randomly rented the first 2 seasons of The Exorcist, and I remember liking the first 2 episodes when they aired on Fox, and just never following up. But I'm watching that right now. I'm loving it. Predator Badlands. Like, I'll have movies set aside for nights when I know that I'm going to be up for about 6 or 7 hours doing nothing but folding and shipping and signing books.
Right.
So Predator Badlands, that was playing while I was doing my work. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching that movie because I mean it's just I could sit there and multitask while looking up and seeing these epic fights. But yeah, it was a little Disney gets a hold of Predator and goes on a Star Wars, almost Dark Tower-esque quest. It's
Weird.
But I enjoyed it.
I like weird though, so I could enjoy this. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't turned it on yet.
I just praised Badlands and you missed it.
Damn it, Mark. I was here.
What? Sorry, Jim liked Badlands?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Nick praised it, and you missed
praised it. I said it's a great movie because I was shipping books and mailing books all night, and I had it playing in the background. So it was one of those films where I didn't have to sit there and zone in and lock in. I could just enjoy it for what it was. And
I almost feel like I need to go back and finish it, but pretend it's not a Predator movie, and I'll probably like it way more.
I mean, that's gonna be a little hard to do, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
Really?
They are so different than
even. But I mean, the main character is a predator
that looks and talk. Well, I mean, I don't know. It could pass off as any different race of alien in any other sci-fi movie. Like you don't. If I saw that thing, except for the mandible, I mean, then it's just a regular alien.
Fair enough.
Until he puts on the mask, of course.
Like the Mandalorian mask? What are we talking about?
At this point, what's the difference?
Right.
I did like what's the actress's name?
Elle
Fanning.
Yeah, I did like her performance. Although I didn't like the character, I did like her performance and what I've seen in it.
I think you'll really like it in the latter half. Because I was like, she's reminding me of Dory from Finding Dory and Finding Nemo. Like that's who she was coming off as. And then in the second half of the movie, I was like, yeah, I'm down for this.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and get like a little something on a stick with a picture of something that's not a predator, and just
put a picture of Grogu up there.
I'll just hide it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's true. Anything else you want to talk about, Nick? As far as what you've watched or seen or read?
I'm just overwhelmed with content in general. That anytime I get time to sit down and actually read and watch something for pleasure and not because I have to, I feel like I could watch a rerun of something I've seen a million times and still just love it just because I have the time to sit down and enjoy watching something. So
fair enough. What I will say, without spoiling anything, there is a story arc that I wish that The Exorcist TV series had explored in season 2 that they sort of just let slip by the wayside because they're not connected.
How many seasons are there?
2.
Okay.
There was a huge dust up about the second season, but I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as you watch it, but I loved it. I again love both seasons, but I really wish there was something that there's a continuing storyline in the first season that would have really, I thought, made an engaging series if they would have continued it.
That's just one of the very difficult aspects of horror as in TV medium. Like unless you're doing it and unless you're doing an anthology, it's so hard to nail that perfect balance of pressure release, tension sustained throughout even just a 10-episode series of a horror show. And I think that's why. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I was nearing my end. I was just saying that, like, it's so hard to crack the code of having a truly terrifying television show, not one that dabbles in other subgenres, but one that's purely horror. For it to be a serialized show, I think the closest I've seen in my lifetime, other than like a season 1 of True Detective or season 1 of Lost, where you literally don't know, like, could there be monsters? Like, what's going on? Like, I think for a successful scary horror show, you have to have that hook at the end of every episode to come back. You have to have some sort of build up and payoff within the self-contained episode, but it's got to have that overarching, really great story.
Have you seen a TV show from Cinemax called Outcast?
No, but I've heard of it.
Let me tell you, you should watch that. You want something dark, gritty, and that could be truly terrifying? That is the show to watch. And Brett Spiner from Star Trek The Next Generation plays an amazing villain.
Outcast. All right, cool.
You can watch that after the 9th configuration.
Okay. Blatty always supersedes anything, so.
I disagree. I think you'll enjoy. So Greg Nicotero wrote the graphic novel that Outcast is based on.
Okay.
And it's absolutely fantastic. I think you will enjoy it, especially given the possessions kick that you're kind of on right now with your anthology and everything. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Sweet.
Oh, Jim, before you go, I have one more thing. I've been playing Resident Evil Requiem, which is
nobody cares.
Fantastic.
That's my favorite game system. Favorite game series ever. I just haven't had time to jump into the next one yet.
Oh, this is so much better than the last one.
Oh,
not here for it. Sorry, I never liked the Resident Evil games. I was more of a Fatal Frame junkie.
Mm.
Fatal Frame and the Suffering.
Remaking that, by the way.
They already did for the Switch. Like, what else can they do to it?
I don't know. Are they having a new one come out?
I want them to make a movie because it's fantastic and the atmosphere in the game is terrifying. In the first game.
We could talk about video game to movie adaptations.
No, not tonight. Yeah. Not tonight.
But we'll be here all night. Anyway, Jim, what do you watch?
So I finished the complete Deathless saga that I talked to you about before, Mark. And it's a fun urban fantasy series, right? It's about these Egyptian gods that are not necessarily immortal, but sort of part alien. And the issue that I had in the beginning of this series, because it's 6 books, was that they used the AIDS virus as a vehicle for this transformation for people. Essentially, if you have HIV, you're going to die and then come back as a zombie. And it just really struck a bad chord with me. But it becomes less of a focus after the first 2 books. So I actually wound up really enjoying the series. Like I told you before, Mark, I don't understand why that struck such a chord with me, but it did.
Well, we already went over this last time, Jim. We did.
No, you think you know.
No,
I don't agree. No, just because I'm gay does not mean that would be the reason. I disagree. But anyway, enough about that. I also read Next of Kin by Elton Skelter. Was not for me. I did not enjoy it. I was hoping for something that was a little more story driven and less sexually focused. And unfortunately, that seems to be a theme with a lot of gay authors. It's all about the sex and less about the story. And I just did not connect with the author at all, which was sad. I did, however, read A Lonely Broadcast by Kel Byron, which is about this woman who goes into the mountains and has this job where it's just her and all this weird stuff starts to happen. And she has all these rules about, station warnings she has to play and she doesn't understand why. And there's all this weird stuff happening around the radio station.
I love setups like that.
it actually turned out to be really be fantastic. Like she is operator number, I think, 37 that has been in this radio station. And it's bizarre. It's got some weird stuff that happens, and then it all makes sense at the end. It doesn't all make sense at the end. Like, they don't explain everything, but her purpose for being there makes sense. And I absolutely loved it. I got caught up on my Max Abaddon series. Again, another urban fantasy series that I love. It's witches and wizards and fairies all living in modern day. It's just fun. I am currently Circles of Hell. I read. That is essentially a book series about a gentleman that is the superintendent of hell. And hell is really just being assigned a job that you're really bad at. And all of the devils are incompetent, and it's dry.
It's like you interviewing people.
Pretty much, yeah, right. But it's really it's dry English humor, and I absolutely love it. Like they call Beelzebub Beezy, and he literally is Lord of the Flies. Like, he's inhaling flies every time he breathes, and he's 500 pounds. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Orson Welles is the superintendent's assistant, and all he can do is assist. Like, he can hand him a hammer, but he can't actually fix anything. It's great. It was absolutely great.
That reminds me of like Douglas Adams. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then now I'm reading an urban fantasy series called How to Be Dead. And it's essentially, it's about this gentleman who starts to work for death, who is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but he's now had to kill all the other horsemen. So it's just death. And he essentially helps spirits cross over. And it delves into time travel and alternate dimensions, and it gets all kinds of weird. In the second series, the first series is 4 books, then there's 5 through 8, I think, and now death has become personified. Literally, he has possessed somebody's body, so he's now human, and a new death has been born. It's dry, snarky English humor, and I absolutely love it. As far as movies, I haven't really watched much because I've been on a documentary kick lately. I did watch an HBO documentary called Fukushima Nuclear Nightmare, which was absolutely riveting. I loved every minute of it, and I don't know why I'm on this history kick right now, because I also watched a 3 Mile Island documentary, in addition to my serial killer documentaries.
Also, it's like you're on a nuclear history kick.
I was, but I'm back on serial killers, and I'm feeling much more comfortable in my skin rather than delving. Like, I did this whole Nazi jaunt about 3 weeks ago, where I watched nothing but World War II documentaries. It's just been this weird thing. I haven't watched any movies
I wonder why.
at all.
Yeah.
I'm not talking politics right now. I'm talking about movies.
Hey, I didn't bring up politics. You did.
No, I did not. I was talking about documentaries.
I know. I just said, I wonder why. And then you said, I'm not talking politics. All I said was, I wonder why.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, that's beside the point. But that's where I've been in my headspace. And then, just lifing. That's really it. I feel like I did. Oh, I did watch the first 2 Scary movies. I got kind of excited over watching the trailer for 6. Yeah. But I've never watched a full Scary movie ever. So the first one I did not care for at all. The second one was hysterical. I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to continue because I think 6 could be a lot of fun, because it seems like they've ratcheted up the humor, and I miss that, right? Where you're not afraid to offend people. And I'm hoping that I like more in the series, and it's not just 2 and 6.
Is the second one the one with the little hand?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I love that actor too.
I mean,
he's in a bunch of
stuff. He's playing Longlegs.
He's playing Longlegs.
Is he? Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it. Like, I've seen those Scary movies.
But like seeing Veronica Cartwright in the film playing a comical version of Ellen Burstyn from The Exorcist was just great. And then seeing Leslie Nielsen play The Exorcist, it was funny, and I don't mean like I loved
James
Repossessed.
Woods.
Yes, James Woods. Sorry, that's right, James Woods. But like it wasn't funny like Leslie Nielsen in Repossessed with Linda Blair.
Well, no, that's a different.
It was just so much more. It was so much better, if I'm being honest.
Like Repossessed, was that Mel Brooks? Repossessed?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's totally different from the Scary movie.
The humor is totally different, but I really enjoyed 2, so I'm gonna go into 3 and see what I think.
Well, you're gonna get the Wayans brothers. They stopped after 1 and 2, so a true to form return will be with the new Scary movie that they released.
Yeah, what was it? Leslie Nielsen in the third one, or am I imagining?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why I got him mixed up.
Yeah, they hired the Zucker brothers to come in and run the show. Because,
that's right.
The Weinsteins basically ripped off the Wayans brothers, and the Wayans brothers went and made White Chicks and Little Man and did their own thing, and then now they're returning to form with bringing back their.
I think there's a lot to lampoon.
Yeah. And they did it.
Although some of it's probably beyond parody.
And that may explain why I liked the second one, because the directors, they're the same guys that did Airplane, right?
No, that's the third one.
That's the third one. That's
the third one. Okay, I haven't seen the third one yet. I haven't seen that one yet.
It's the way.
But the second one,
it's the rest of them are still enjoyable parodies, but they're not as cutting edge and as offensive as what the Wayans brothers bring to it. I mean, they're like the go-to for that.
As long as they're not as bad as Nymphs, because that movie was awful.
As what?
Nymphs. So it's essentially this TV clip show, but in movie form. Like Linda Blair is running from this serial killer who is supposed to be Michael Myers, but he's using a walker because he's been on screen for so many years. It's not good.
And basically, that's what happens in Halloween Ends.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I loved anyway.
Oh God. Oh Nick, don't ruin it for me. This has been fun. Don't ruin this for me.
Halloween Ends is every horror boy's fantasy of wanting to grow up and be Michael Myers' best friend. It was my wish fulfillment.
Yeah, but except that
we had very different wishes
by marching band members.
Yeah, right. A 30-year-old man getting bullied by marching band kids.
Yeah. I hated what they did with Jamie Lee Curtis's character. I think her best arc was in Halloween H2O. I thought that's how they properly dealt with trauma in that film. The previous 3 that came out, I was not a fan of, which is why I liked the third one, because it was so off the beaten path. I'm like, where is Michael Myers? Like, what am I watching right now? So, like I said, as a jaded horror fan, if you can surprise me, I will forgive a lot.
Mark and I had this conversation, and I thought H2O was great, and I still do. However, I did really enjoy the first 10 minutes of Resurrection. Like when I saw it in the theaters and they threw Jamie Lee Curtis off a building, I was on my seat cheering. I was so excited.
Sorry, I just walked off for a second.
That's okay.
I don't blame you.
That's after that, it's garbage. But that first 10 minutes where he's chasing her through the asylum, I was here for it. I thought it was great. And my comment was, he's been hunting the bitch for 25 years. It's about time.
Yeah, let him have his. Let him have his wish fulfillment.
One of the two had to go. One of the two.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you just fly to Australia or somewhere? You'd be fine.
Okay, Mark. Anything else you want to?
Michael Myers trying to get on a plane.
Mark, anything else you want to talk about?
No, just thanks so much, Nick. It's been a great pleasure to have you on.
It has been a lot of fun, Nick, and thank you. I apologize that it took us so long, because I know we talked about it a long time ago, and I apologize for not following through. Well, and then, for my interview skills, I apologize too. you know.
Like I said, I have such a terrible memory. I don't even. I forgot that you had even asked. So to be asked twice is an honor, and it was. I'm always down to talk movies, even if we disagree on basically everything.
Well, if we all agree, there'll be no fun conversation.
That's true, but you know, you can give each other shit and have a good time talking about movies you disagree with. It's when people get overzealous and hate people because of the things that they like and don't like that bother me. So I have a good time talking to people that I don't agree with.
You do that to me all the time, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a different story, Mark. You're a completely different story. There's a reason I drink so much when I'm on this with you. But anyway, Nick, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This has been a lot of fun, and I hope we get to talk to you again.
Yep.
Absolutely. Come back on anytime you want. If you can.
I'm going to end the stream, Nick. I'm going to end the stream, Nick, and then we'll just chat for 1 second.